The gunner swivels, searching the smoke-filled field, his breath fogging the periscope lens. Around him, the faint, acrid scent of cordite hangs heavy, a silent warning. Unseen, an inevitable force is gathering, a wave of steel and humanity about to crash. This was the summer of 1943, and the fields near Teterovino village were about to become a crucible. The Battle of Kursk, an engagement unlike any other, saw two titanic armies collide. On the 8th of July, German soldiers watched with a growing sense of dread. The horizon became a moving, rumbling wall of formidable Soviet T-34 tanks. Shells hammered the earth around them, and machine gun fire sang a constant, piercing song. As the roar of engines grew louder, the German infantry knew their small arms were futile. As the first T-34s clattered over their positions, a few brave German soldiers waited. In a desperate, synchronized move, the Germans hurled their mines onto the rear of the Soviet vehicles. Not every attempt found its mark, but two T-34s sputtered, smoked, and became motionless. Not far away, Untersturmführer Franz Staudegger of the 1st SS Panzer Division was in an unexpected position. His colossal Tiger I heavy tank had fallen behind its unit, halted by a broken suspension. Now, 3 Soviet T-34s, moving with an almost casual lack of formation, trundled into his view. For Staudegger, it was a target almost too clear. He gave the order. The Tiger's massive 88mm gun recoiled with a sharp crack, striking the lead T-34 squarely. His loader, swift and practiced, slammed another armor-piercing round into the breech. The third T-34 met the same fate. For a full minute, not a single shot was returned. Then, more movement. Across the railway embankment, another T-34 appeared, then another and another. Staudegger remained calm. His next shot struck its target, sending another T-34 to join the burning hulks. This overwhelming force finally drew the attention of the Soviets. One T-34 swiveled its turret. Staudegger's tank, a moving fortress, began to shift its position, moving from cover to cover. Another T-34 burst into flames, the scale of the threat slowly dawning on the Soviet tankers. Shells slammed against the Tiger's thick armor, the impact reverberating, but none penetrated. Staudegger knew his machine. Another T-34 disintegrated under the Tiger's relentless barrage. The shells continued to rain down on Staudegger's tank, impacting with deafening clangs. He remained focused, directing fire with cold, calculated precision as the Soviets pushed forward. Then, a new challenge. They ran out of armor-piercing ammunition. Without hesitation, Staudegger ordered the switch to high-explosive rounds, and elimination continued. Unassisted, Staudegger's single Tiger had brought the Soviet advance to a grinding halt. Staudegger continued to bark orders, determined to inflict as much damage as possible. Eventually they disengaged, and a chilling silence descended upon the battlefield. Before him lay 17 burning wrecks. Despite the repair, his tank's tracks were miraculously intact. The engine roared, and the Tiger began to move. His 88mm gun fired again, sending a high-explosive shell toward the unsuspecting cluster. The Soviets scrambled, opening fire, but their shells simply ricocheted off the Tiger's formidable hide. The German tank turned its turret, delivering another precise blow that shattered the closest T-34. When the smoke finally cleared, 5 more wrecks were added. A single Tigerin destroyed 22 enemy tanks. His tank bore 67 visible scars, marks of the intense, desperate fight, yet it had not been penetrated. For this remarkable achievement, he was awarded the Knight's Cross of the Iron Cross. Franz Staudegger would survive the war, living a long life before passing away peacefully in 1991. Yet this was only one side of the story. Captain Leonid Rygorodsky waited nervously inside his T-34. At 16:30, 32 T-34 and 21 T-70 tanks began to roll, entering a sector. Soon, The crackle of gunfire against the T-34's hull became a constant, unsettling drumbeat. The turret filled with foul smoke from their own 76mm guns, amid frantic radio chatter. Through the explosions, a new sound began to rise, the distant, then rapidly approaching howl of a Stuka. Suddenly, 5 tanks to Rygorodsky's right rolled over the raised railway lines and vanished. Moments later, the sounds of intense battle erupted from beyond, punctuated by several tremendous explosions. Rygorodsky and his section were ordered forward. As his T-34 crested the railway line, a devastating scene unfolded. Of the 5 tanks that had gone ahead, 3 were already burning, their wreckage casting a pall. Rygorodsky's tank added its fire, but plumes of dirt and flashes of orange filled the air. He watched helplessly as comrades fell, trying to comprehend the unfolding disaster amidst radio cacophony. Rygorodsky, peering through his small optic, saw nothing but smoke until a distant muzzle flash betrayed a position. He fired again. All around him, other T-34s were struck down, and the situation was untenable. Then, an order, sharp and clear, cut through the radio static. Retreat. One by one, the T-34s began to pull back, shells crashing around them. Another tank near Rygorodsky's exploded in flames. An 88mm shell arced directly toward his T-34. It punched straight through. Captain Leonid Rygorodsky and his crew became another entry of the fallen. The remaining T-34s and T-70s rolled back over the railway lines, finding respite as the Germans ceased pursuit. By the end of that day, 21 T-34s and 1 T-70 were destroyed. German High Command, eager to highlight strength, credited all kills that day to Staudegger. 2 distinct narratives, 2 dramatically different experiences, yet irrevocably intertwined by the same desperate battle. On one side, the precision and confidence of a crew. On the other, confusion, vulnerability, and ultimate sacrifice. This was the complex, often tragic reality of war.